I've been talking to Gay about this and hearing a lot of concern from the community about the sick seal event in 2011. And I wasn't here, I haven't seen the animals, I've just been involved in the working group that's been trying to help solve this mystery. And you've probably all seen either the animals or the pictures of these seals with lesions around the eyes, skin lesions, sores, flippers, and we've heard a lot about it. And I don't have the answer, but I've heard a lot here of some of the concerns and the issues, and that there are still animals that have their hair hasn't grown, or there's still some sores. So I did just today, after hearing this, check in with some of the vets who are working on this, and there are several sort of theories right now that this disruption, to disrupt molt and hair growth, there are a whole suite of different things that can cause that, because the whole endocrine system has to be working effectively to trigger the hormonal changes that result in hair loss and then new hair growth. And then if you have a problem, you can get infections on top of that. So there's still a list of possibilities that are shown up here, but I did want to specifically address the concern over the Fukushima, because we've heard a lot about that question, and so I did manage to get an answer today from Dr. Rawls' office, and she said they have results from 10 tested seals for cesium, and then there were 10 control seals, which were basically also sampled in the same time, so not at a different time, so they could still, without lesions, and the levels were similar, but the levels of cesium were about twice as high as levels in seals from 20 years ago. So there's a difference in time, but not a difference between 10 animals that were really sick and 10 animals sampled at the same time that weren't really sick. But there's lots of questions there. Were the sick ones then, were the healthy ones then going to get sick and hadn't yet because they were hunted? Or so there's a lot to be done there. But certainly, when I go home, I'll really work with the group and work with Gay and Rafaela to help tease through some of the tests that have been done.
And my understanding on the cesium that they were looking for is not from Fukushima. There's different types. So 134 is cesium 134 comes from Fukushima. If you see that, that's going to be from Fukushima these days. But cesium 137 is what was in the what was found in the seals, and they were tested. I think those ones were the 1990s.
They looked at both cesium 134 and 137 and something else.
Right, but I don't think 134 has been found. Is that correct? There's no Fukushima radiation's been found, but we have left over from the days when the open air testing, people were blowing up the bombs. That we were all bombing ourselves, really, right? Nevada and over on the Russian side, and all that was open air in the air, and they still have that. And they did it in the water and whatnot before they started putting them under the ground. So that's the cesium 137, and that's still left over, and just making that clear.
In regards to do you still, if I go out hunting and I see a furless seal, what do you need?
Skin, liver, kidney. Well, Gay will say put the whole seal in a body bag, but it's difficult to ship them, so you could either do the whole seal.
Do the whole seal.
Okay.
Yeah. We can pair it out here, but get the whole thing in, or we'll get it. They want the whole animal because there's a bucket of things, if possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Ron.
Somebody suggested all these lesions we see in these seals and the animals that are exposed to air. You know, like the time when we start losing our ozone in the North Pole, South Poles, whatever, we started getting all these skin cancers that were coming up all over the world, and somebody suggested that's what's happening to our animals. Because we can't find anything biological, or it doesn't seem to be coming up. There's a lot of concern before I go back home spring hunt.
Yeah.
And we're gearing up right now.
Yeah.
So I told them I wouldn't be afraid to talk in front, I'm sorry to say in front of anybody.
Yeah, that's good.
I have to bring these answers back home. Because they're getting concerned. We're gonna go out. We're ready to go out now for our spring start.
February.
Yeah, because we have open water. We have it's so different. Because
I think one thing that's, I mean, again, I'm coming from the outside and saying this, but you get the most information from the really sick ones, and I have heard some concern, some sensitivity that if somebody takes a really sick animal, then they don't eat it or use it, that they might get sort of in trouble for then not using it. But that's the best one for samples. So developing that trust where the scientists really want that that seal is a really important one.
Our main concern is just consuming it. Even the animals we think are healthy, you know.
There's no marine mammal rigs. So I was looking way back at your first. There's no rigs. We really hunt. So the only part that there's a quota for bowhead. That's it. I can go out today.
Absolutely. Listing doesn't
There's
affect
no
you.
regs for marine mammals.
Right. Listing doesn't affect you.
So
Good.
let's get that on the table and get it out. So
Good. Thank you.
So the one thing that if you need anything from the native community, let us know. If we invite you to come up and do your science work. I think if you can get ahead of the ball, maybe do what we did before about 15 years ago with NOAA for 10 years and doing studies on heavy metals, maybe do it again and see if there's a change in those heavy metal data. So, we're willing to help.
Great. Thank you.
I've been taking out non-native hunters on my boat. The icefield staff that was here for Quark, I took them out because they were doing the studies. In my opinion, what it adds to their work when they go out and see what's going on, what we're doing. So it's not, people have different approaches. I'm very open to trying to be helpful.
That was a concern in our meeting, is that, times have changed. We're hungry for answers for you guys. Don't feel intimidated to go out to our communities, because we'll welcome you there. You guys are the people with scientific knowledge. Don't feel intimidated that you're approaching on our culture, our thing. It's changed. The young people are seeing these through the internet. They're hungry for answers. And if you go to the villages, they'll ask gay, they'll welcome you there. They're small communities. And that's where one of our main concerns about the MMC, when I was first heard about this meeting, is that when I went to the meeting, who are these people? How do they affect us?
We're very small.
We see Gay goes out to our villages with her work all the time.
It would be great to bring a better integration, like Vera mentioned. We have these commissions already in place. We have the best observers with the best local knowledge in place, but somehow it stays away, or you get one researcher come in and out. It's better maybe to hit with the system that we have. We have many systems here that can be tapped
Paul
into.
Becker was his name.
Paul Becker.
Anyway, just a suggestion.
Paul still has
He made
students who
an
have
important point earlier. You guys talked about Kotzebue Sound earlier. That was just one area that you guys thought thing was new. He mentioned that we've been seeing, and she mentioned it earlier, that we've known these facts for a long time because we deal with these animals. If you go to the wrong area, you'll get that area's, concern.
So maybe it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I know.
But you've got a good audience.
Yeah. Well, we can keep talking, all week. But maybe now we need to go eat.
Well, but I don't know if this is a good place to segue or stop, just so people can.
This was sort of really the end, just to say. This was kind of just to say that we're part of your ecosystem. You have this. You have your ecosystem here. So we're a little part of your ecosystem.
Oh, there you go.
This is our commissioners, and Randy was kind of lying low, but he's chair of our committee of scientific advisors. But he's also tapped into pretty much any scientist around the planet that knows stuff. So he's a great resource. And then part of our ecosystem is then we write letters, so we tell our poor little guy that hides in an office and he writes letters. But we hope that by being part of your ecosystem we can help. But we're a little part, but where we want to do more. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.